This episode is presented by Ruvi, the most real indoor cycling experience that delivers the famous cycling routes to your home. Go to ruvi.com and start your free 14-day trial.
Let's talk about what went on in Hartford, Connecticut. Tim, you know the area well. It's also the home of Chris White, our new national champion in
Curtis.
cyclocross in blizzard-like conditions. Curtis White, excuse me. Thank you, Tim, for correcting me. In blizzard-like conditions in Hartford, Connecticut. I think he's been going at it for so many years. Tim, what is the importance for him to finally get the win in the national championships?
I have so much invested in Curtis's performance yesterday. He was a young rookie teammate of mine on Cannondale Cyclocross World. Seeing him go from this, young whippersnapper to now just really such an incredible person, well-rounded. The post-race interview I say is really the best that I've ever seen within our sport. He was able to show what it meant, how he did it, and in just a way that showed that he respected his opponents, and I think that that's important to know is that Curtis sharing that with everyone. And please go back and watch the replay because it's a real show. It takes a lot to win, and a lot goes into it. It's not just what he does in a training race or a training day, but it's about how you live the sport and the sport you have. His entire family just has a lineage in cycling. His parents have just supported them, from the beginning at all different levels and different reasons. So he had his entire family there. And so for someone who has been Emma White's brother for the majority of his career, he has certainly done a good job of being Curtis White, who is also Emma White's brother. She's, as we know, an Olympic medalist and, someone who's just a national champion many times in cyclocross. So watching that win come together was just so cool.
And such beautiful conditions to see him celebrate the victory too, with the snow coming down. It'll make for great photos. It's a shame we didn't get images of him in the New Jersey for him. Well deserved. And in that interview, he gave us just a touch of emotion that was great. And then also, as you said he broke it down quite well, the race. And one thing he mentioned, perhaps that may have won in the race, part of what may have won in the race was his risk taking on the off-camber descent. What do you think? Was it that? What made him the victory there?
Yeah, well, I think in conditions like this, it's never just one move that gets you the win, but it allows you the chance to win. You can take a risk and all of a sudden you're out of the race. You can't win anymore. So you need to stay in the fight. You need to keep making decisions to keep you at the front. And Eric Brunner, defending champion, was on his game. He was riding really well. I think that what Curtis was able to do is to take advantage of a little bit of a tactical and technical opportunity, which was Eric Brunner was not quite as comfortable in some of these sections. And so what Curtis said is that he was able to turn up the gas just enough to try and kind of eke out a little bit more, and it worked. And to win by 3 seconds, it just goes to show how tight that really was leading into the last half lap. And everyone who was on site, everyone watching at home was just completely glued to what's happening. How is this going to go?
Yeah. And how does this stack up to recent nationals? And what did you think about the snowfall in the second half, especially? How is it to race in the snow, and is it enjoyable?
I think that's people have different opinions about that. I was always a fan of racing in the snow and mud. Hartford's a great course. It's got a lot of elevation. It has some different flat, faster sections. When we had nationals there previously, it was really just frozen solid and 6 inches of snow overnight. This storm really just kind of turned on as the races got going. So it really wasn't accumulating all that much. They were dealing more with the mud that was taking the traction away. The course conditions were getting colder as the race went on. So, if you can stay warm, if your fingers can still work and you can shift your bike and maybe brake once in a while, I think you're doing pretty well.